I'm Carrie with Capernaum Care, and today I want to talk with you about something we all experience at some point: difficult relationships. So, have you ever said something in an argument and thought, oh, why did I say that? Or maybe you walked away from a conversation thinking that did not go the way I wanted it to. Sometimes the problem isn't that we don't know what we should say, the problem is that our emotions get there before our wisdom does. So, how do we handle difficult relationships in a way that honors God and protects our emotional and relational health? So, the Bible gives us some powerful wisdom, and neuroscience helps us understand why putting that wisdom into practice can be so difficult. So, in Proverbs 15:1, it says, "A soft answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger." That's not telling us to avoid difficult conversations. It's telling us to pay attention to how we respond. And in James 1:19, it gives another reminder: let every person be quick to hear, slow to speak, and slow to anger. So that's quick to hear, slow to speak, and slow to anger. And those are just three simple commands. But when we're hurt, frustrated, or feeling threatened, it can be incredibly difficult. And today I want to introduce you to Amy and Flo. And this is a simple illustration used in the prep relationship curriculum that we teach here at Capernaum Care. So I want you to think of two parts of your brain, Amy and Flo. So Amy represents the amygdala, which plays an important role in detecting danger and triggering the body's emotional alarm response. Flo represents the frontal lobe, including the brain's prefrontal regions that help us think, plan, evaluate consequences, and regulate our responses. So here's the important part. Amy doesn't always know the difference between physical danger and emotional danger. So when someone says something that hurts us or criticizes us, or we feel rejected or threatened, Amy sounds the alarm. And suddenly we're ready to fight, flee, or freeze. Our heart is racing, our emotions are intense, and we're not necessarily thinking about the long-term consequences of what we're going to say. But this is where we need flow. When a situation isn't an immediate physical threat, we want to give time to think about it, to regulate, that part of the brain, of our emotions, and give flow an opportunity to catch up. So I think text messages are the worst. I've had times when I received a text that immediately frustrated me. And the problem is with the text, you can't hear the person's tone or see their expression. So it's easy to assume and read into a lot of stuff. And my first instinct is I need to respond right now. But I've learned that the wisest thing to do is to put my phone down, pray about it, and come back to it later. Because sometimes I'm reacting to a tone that I assumed and not what was actually said. And again, that's where Amy and Flo can help. Amy may sound the alarm, but I can pause and give Flo a chance to catch up. So before you send that text, or before you say something you know you'll regret, or before you raise your voice, take a moment, take a breath, slow down, give Flo a chance to help you think through the situation. And that pause doesn't mean you're ignoring the problem. It means you're choosing to respond instead of reacting. So what does this wisdom look like? So wisdom doesn't mean we never get angry. It doesn't mean that we're never hurt. And it certainly doesn't mean allowing someone to mistreat us. Wisdom means learning to recognize what's happening inside of us before our emotions control our response. So when you're in a difficult situation or relationship, try asking yourself, what am I feeling right now? What am I assuming about the other person? And what response would honor God? And perhaps most importantly, do I need to respond to this right now? Sometimes the wisest response is, I want to talk about this, but I need a little time to think about it so I can respond well. And that doesn't mean that you're avoiding the situation. It's emotional regulation, and it can create space for a much healthier conversation. Ephesians 4:15 tells us to speak the truth in love. And notice it takes both. If we only have truth without love, we become harsh. If we have love without truth, then that is avoidance. So biblical wisdom allows us to do both. And you can communicate that someone's behavior hurt you without attacking their character. You can establish boundaries without being cruel. You can disagree without becoming disrespectful. And you can forgive someone without pretending that their behavior didn't happen. So sometimes wisdom means having the conversation, or setting a boundary, or taking a step back. And sometimes it means recognizing that you cannot control another person's choices. You can only control your own response. So the next time that you find yourself in a difficult relationship, think about Amy and Flo. So Amy may be sounding the alarm, and that's okay, but before you react, pause and give Flo a chance to catch up. So take a breath, listen, pray, think about it, and then respond. And when you pray, to say, Lord, give me wisdom to know what to say, when to say it, and how to say it. And James 3:17 tells us that wisdom is pure, it's peaceable, it's gentle, it's open to reason, it's full of mercy and good fruits. And that's the kind of wisdom we need in relationships. Not the wisdom that helps us win an argument, but the wisdom that helps us respond in a way that reflects Christ. So if you're struggling with a difficult relationship, don't just ask, how do I get this person to change? Ask, how is God calling me to respond? And if you need help navigating difficult relationships, communication patterns, emotional pain, setting healthy boundaries, Capernaum Care is here to help. So professional counseling and biblical truth work together to help you understand what is happening beneath the conflict and develop healthier ways to respond. So feel free to visit the Capernaum Care website to learn more about how we can help you influence relationships for Christ.